and welcome everyone. You're watching the evening bulletin at News and Images. I'm Nazir Mukit and here are our top headlines. Not a single drop to drink. Residents of Moakhali block roads demanding uninterrupted water supply. Despite lack of logistical support, the International Crimes Tribunal continues gathering information. Supreme Court Bar Association presidents vows to prevent appointments of incompetent High Court judges. Government barring Tariq Rahman's return, says BNP leader Abdullah Al Noman, warns of street movement. Also on the program, at least 20 die as Thai security forces clash with Red Shirts protesters. The Red Shirts vow to topple the government. Our main story. Vehicular movements on the Moakhali-Gulshan Link Road came to stand still for half an hour as locals blocked the road Sunday morning to press their demand for uninterrupted water supply. The residents of Moakhali took to the streets at around 10:30 a.m. and blocked the roads, resulting in huge gridlock on both sides of the road and adjacent areas. Mazrul Kabir, Deputy Commissioner of Tejgaon Zone Police, has said the protesters said they were not getting water from March 18 that forced them to stage the protest. The blockage was lifted after police stepped in and talked to the protesters. To ease the water crisis in the capital city, army troops have been working with Wassa since April 7 upon government call. The International Crimes Tribunal (ICT) is gathering information such as video footage, books, news reports, statements of plaintiffs. The information would be used as evidence in the trial of war criminals, Abdul Motin, the chief investigator, has said. The investigation agency is collecting information from different sources regularly, Motin said. Motin said although the authority has yet to give the agency logistic support, it is not hampering their work. The lawyers of Bangladesh will not tolerate appointment of any controversial judge in the High Court, the newly elected Supreme Court Bar Association President Khandakar Mahbub Hossain has said. He also claimed that the newly elected committee under his leadership would create a new era in the history of the country's judicial system.
In a press briefing organized to give the Supreme Court's Bar Association's reaction on the news report on the appointment of new High Court judges, the association president said that the lawyers of the country would not accept appointment of any controversial judges in the apex court. He also said that the newly elected committee would create a new era in the history of the High Court and Supreme Court, as they promised before the election.
সম্মতি ছাড়া রিকমেন্ডেশন ছাড়া কোনো বিচারক নিয়োগ করা হবে না যদি তার রিকমেন্ডেশন ব্যতীত কোন বিচারক নিয়োগ করা হয় মাননীয় আমাদের যে প্রধান বিচারপতির কাছে আবেদন জানাবো যা তাকে পাবলিকলি বলতে হবে টু কিপ হিজ ইমেজ টু কিপ দ্য ইমেজ অফ দ্য সুপ্রিম কোর্ট যে না এই সকল বিচারক আমার সুপারিশ অনুযায়ী হয় নাই.
By giving example of some untoward incidents of past, he said that the present members of Bar Association will prohibit this kind of incident at any cost. They also demand for the appointment of honest, efficient people as the judge of the High Court Division.
Supreme Court বাংলাদেশের 16 কোটি মানুষের আশা ভরসার ন্যায় বিচার পাওয়ার শেষ ভরসাস্থল। আমরা ইনশাআল্লাহ রাজনীতির ঊর্ধ্বে থেকে আমরা হাই কোর্ট এবং সুপ্রিম কোর্টের মান সম্মান রক্ষার জন্য ইজ্জত রক্ষা করার জন্য এই ব্যাপারে আমরা প্রতিবাদ জানাবো এবং যে কোনো ব্যবস্থা আমরা গ্রহণ করতে বাধ্য হব.
Khandakar Mahbub Hossain assured that if any person gets appointment only because he or she is the member of a political party, the Supreme Court Bar Association will protest it. The association will try to keep the purity of the highest place for justice and keep people's faith, Mahbub Hossain promised. Mariam Imran, News and Images, Dhaka.
Bosundhara Group Chairman Ahmed Akbar Sobhan alias Shah Alam, who was supposed to be at the office of Detective Branch at Minto Road at 11 a.m., did not show up at the time of filing of this report at 5 p.m. Mahbub Alam, an additional Deputy Commissioner of Detective Branch of the Police, has confirmed this to News and Images. He was summoned by the intelligence agency for interrogation over the killing of Dhaka City Ward Councillor Ahmed Hossain in February. The High Court on Wednesday rejected an appeal from Shah Alam, who was challenged rather a police move to interrogate him with links to the murder. The court also refused the prayer for court directives on police to quit Shah Alam at his residence or any other neutral place in presence of his counsel. Government is burying BNP's senior Vice Chairman Tariq Rahman's return to home. BNP Joint Secretary General Amanul Aman has alleged. He claimed that, according to BNP's grassroots representatives, the current government has failed to run the country. He also warned of movements against the government. He announced that the grassroots level representatives evaluation meeting will be held in Dhaka on April 13. Violence, murder for tender or otherwise, and terrorism in the country has reached at an alarming stage in recent weeks. That of course includes the recent murder centering tender submission in Panchagor and deadly clash in Dinajpur for the same reason. Common men think that these deadly and criminal activities taking place under the shelter of a group of ministers and parliament members. To check such violence and terror activities, they also call the government to increase the number of police members. Recent news reports suggest that terrorism and extortion is on the rise again. Coupled with this, incidents of deadly clashes, even deaths, centering tender submission by ruling party men is now an open secret. People demand quick and effective steps from the government in curbing the situation. They also think that the general people of the country should also cooperate the government in doing so.
বর্তমানে চাঁদাবাজি সন্ত্রাসী বেড়ে যাচ্ছে। আমার মনে হয় যে সরকারের এই ব্যাপারে জরুরি পদক্ষেপ নেওয়া দরকার আর পুলিশের একটা ভালো ভূমিকা নেওয়া দরকার। সন্ত্রাস চাঁদাবাজি বেড়ে গেলে সাধারণ মানুষ সবচেয়ে বেশি দুর্ভোগের শিকার হয়।
সরকারের সাথে সাথে জনগণকেও সরকারের সাথে কোঅপারেশন করতে হবে। জনগণ যদি কোঅপারেশন না করে কোনোদিন সরকারের একার পক্ষে সম্ভব না।
Some allegations are serious. Once again, they are also an open secret. However, these allegations demand serious government attention.
আমলা মন্ত্রীদের শেল্টারে কিছু সন্ত্রাসীরা আছে, ওরা লালন পালন করে সঠিকভাবে আইন প্রয়োগ হচ্ছে না, যার জন্য এগুলো হচ্ছে। নিজের ভিতরে চাপিয়ে রাখতেছে, কারণ প্রকাশ করলে তাদের উপরে ভয়ানক নির্যাতন চলে আসবে, সন্ত্রাসী নির্যাতন করবে।
Constitutionally, common men have all the right to live a peaceful life without being the